Today, I wanted to talk about the fact that we cannot grow unless we go through resistance. So, what would be perfect in a perfect world, we would just wish that we could just ask God, hey, can you please help me grow? And then we would just, boom, we would just grow. But that's not how this works in this life. So, for example, when you work out, in order to get muscular or get in good shape or good health, you have to go through some type of resistance or push yourself, push heavier weight in order to get healthier and get in shape. And you have to run hard and push yourself. So, in the same way, spiritually, we're not going to grow if we're being stagnant or being comfortable all the time. So, a lot of times, God will put us through hard situations, put us through uncomfortable situations just so that we can grow and be more like Him. Because we're not going to grow spiritually, we're not going to get stronger, we're not going to be greater if we're sitting on the couch doing nothing or if we're very comfortable. So that's the exact reason why He'll put us through trials sometimes. And in James chapter 1, verse 2, it says, "Consider it joy when you encounter various trials, because you know that the testing of your faith produces endurance," or patience. And it says, when this patience or endurance has its full effect, you will be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. So God uses these trials to grow us, mature us, and it says that we will be perfect, lacking nothing. So the more that we go through these trials, the more that we endure, it's going to make us more perfect like Jesus. It's going to make us more into His image. And that's the end goal, right? That's the final goal on this earth, is becoming more and more like Jesus Christ. That's what sanctification is. The process of being more made like Jesus, being made more into His image, and being more holy. So don't despise these trials, don't despise hardship in your life, but it says actually to consider it joy, which is a very hard thing to do. It's very much easy said done, or it's easier said than done, sorry. It's very easy to say, oh, consider it joy when you're going through very hard things, but it's another thing to actually do it. It's very hard to do. So don't get down on yourself, but God just wants you to understand that you shouldn't be mad at these things, but actually understand that it's working for your good. Because we know that Romans 8:28 says, God works all things for the good to those who love Him and are called according to His purposes. So there's not one single thing in your life that isn't working for your good if you're a believer in Jesus, if you're a son of God or a daughter. So again, if you want to get stronger in the Spirit, if you want to become better spiritually and be made more like Jesus, it's going to take hardship. It's going to take going through hard things and resistance, spiritual warfare. A lot of the hard things in your life, if you wouldn't have gone through the hard things in your life, you wouldn't be the person you are today. Hardship makes stronger people. Hardship grows character. If you think about Joseph, I like using Joseph a lot as a reference, but Joseph had a bunch of brothers and sisters, and this is in the book of Genesis. He had a lot of brothers and sisters, and they turned against him because of God's calling on his life. They turned against him, betrayed him, sold him into slavery. And this was for years and years that Joseph went through so many hard things, slavery, prison. And then eventually God used those trials and those hardships in Joseph's life to make him into the man of God he is today, or he was in that day. And he became ruler over all Egypt. And then when his brothers and sisters saw him, they said, oh my gosh, they didn't even recognize the guy. They didn't recognize Joseph because of how much God used those trials to make him into a great man of God. And he was ruler over a whole nation. So that's just to show all that God can do with hardship in your life. He's going to use that to mold you. Just like in Romans, Paul talks about the potter and the clay. The clay doesn't say to the potter, why are you making me like this? But we're just like clay in God's eyes. Just the same way we were made from the dust of the earth. We are clay, and God can mold us to be great, or if we don't listen, we're not going to be great. We're not going to be doing good things. We're not going to be made holy like Him. But He can mold us into whatever He wants. And that's the way He molds us, is through hard things. So don't get discouraged at any hard thing you're going through, but just remember, God just wants to show you how He uses these things and how He's with you during those hard things. They're not just for no reason. I remember before I was a Christian, I thought that all these hard things were for no reason because I didn't believe in God. So the hard things I went through, I thought, this is for no reason. And that's why I would get mad at those things. But now, if I go through something hard, I may get a little aggravated, but then I realize in the back of my head, no, this has a purpose, and God is using this. It's not just for no reason. It's not by accident. There's a purpose inside of this, and God is with me through it. It says in Isaiah 43:2, when you go through the rivers, I will be with you, and the waters will not overflow you. And when you walk through fire, it will not scorch you, because I am your God, and I'm going to be with you. So no matter what we go through in this life, anything you could even imagine, the hardest thing you could even imagine, God is going to be with you through it, because guess what? He said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. That's the type of God we serve, that He is so faithful that even though we may be faithless, He's going to remain faithful. Even though we may run away, He's going to chase after us. That's the love of God that He has for us. So I pray this word blesses you, and have a good day.